Alright, welcome back to the CSM Glass Blowing Shop demo videos. Today we're going to be doing one of our simplest forms of flowers, a pinch flower, and this is because all you really do is pinch it out. You really only need one heat for this. If you're adding color, you might need two. However, we'll just go straight into it. I have a clear version and I have a colored version. As a quick refresher of how you're going to want to marver these is you're going to do your initial cylinder marver. However, once you have it in that cylinder shape, so you want to make sure to give it a couple passes so it stiffens up to the sides of it, you're going to hang it completely vertical and you're going to smush it into a pancake shape. You don't want it to be a completely flat pancake. You kind of want a little bit of a triangular shape downwards to the punty, but you also want to make sure that you get a little bit of width as you're going. You'll go back to the hole, get some heat, and you want to make sure it's a fair amount of heat because you're going to be doing all your work in this last step. You're going to want to pinch out about every other flower, so don't pull your petals out too together in the first pass. In the second pass, you're going to pick up in between those gaps, and then you're going to make sure to pull out those petals as much as you want. On each pass, you're going to want to bring those tweezers in deeper towards the center. If you find it's a little bit too hot and it's wanting to collapse in on itself, definitely feel free to tilt it upwards and let gravity kind of keep it on track for you. But then you're going to use the diamond shears to start pulling out that stem. You don't want to do it too fast, you don't want to do it too slow. Too fast, you're going to pull your stem too thin. Too slow, you are going to not get too much of a stem at all. Now what you can also do is that little twist at the end. If you pull it out, you give it a twist and then you twist it back, you can get a little bit of a curl going on, which I personally prefer. It gives it a little bit more of an organic shape, but once again, personal preferences. You're going to hold it there kind of like I did until that stem stops moving a fair amount. But then as it stiffens up, you can let go with the diamond shears and tilt upwards as you see me doing, waiting for that flower to stiffen up so it holds its shape. Once again, we'll just go through that one more time with a secondary flower. So you have a ton of heat. You're making sure that you're moving a fair amount. You take those tweezers, you pinch out every other petal. You'll notice, you'll see some gaps. I'm usually pulling either vertically completely upwards or I'm pulling slightly back. You want to make sure that you keep the same placement each time as you're pulling out those petals as you do those rotations. Once you're happy with the petals, you take your diamond shears, you rest the center of that flower in the diamond portion of those shears, and then you start pulling out. Sometimes a little wiggle helps, sometimes you're just going to have to brute force through it. Twisting, as you see, will give it a little bit of a curl. Letting it stiffen and then twisting backwards will also give you kind of a little bit more of that organic swirl. But once again, your flower, your preference, it's really up to you how you want those stems to look, but this is kind of your traditional way of doing a flower. This one was a little bit cooler when I let go with the diamond shears, so it's held its shape a little bit more. But once again, I tilt it up just to make sure that I had it nice and stiff and steady. I'll go back to the hole, give it a super quick flash, like an in and an out. Then I come to the break-off table. This kind of break-off you do with the diamond shears rather than the butter knife, and you're going to use a little bit of tap. You'll see I picked too thick of a spot to break it off, so I slid my diamond shears up a little bit to pick a thinner spot that would cool down a little bit faster. And then with that, I then am going to torch that break-off point because flowers are the most beautiful shanks in the world if you don't fire polish it. So give it a good torch, and then you're going to stick it straight in the annealer so that it's good to go to cool down. There are plenty of other ways that you can make flowers, however, this is the most straightforward. You can also talk to your TA about ways to make cut petal flowers, roses, or even other variations that we've also made in the shop. Thanks for watching and happy glass blowing.